Lalit Agarwal, founder and managing director with VMart, joins us now to understand what's happening in the business which he represents, which is value retail. What is happening to small towns in terms of demand and supply, and how exactly is he, witnessing the trends for 2022 different from 2021? Lalitji, good morning. Thank you for joining us. How you been? Long time.
Good. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
The data which has been thrown at us by economists, by experts, is that there is a slowdown. There is a rural slowdown. FMCG companies are almost crying for help. They're saying margins under pressure, demand nahi hai, rural economy is going through a churn and through a slowdown. Are you also experiencing the same pain what other companies are experiencing because of demand and rural slowdown?
See, there is a pain in the system. No, I mean, we all know what has gone through in the last 24 months, and most of the smaller retail, smaller consumer or the lower middle class consumer have suffered the most, and they have not been able to regain the lost income that they had in the past. So there is a sign of disparity. There is a sign of saving. People are also insecure because of all what they hear about war and all those inflation. So they are a little more into insecurity. The inflation is also eating into their pocket. So there is also an extra bill imposed on his pocket. So I think there is a concern right now. But as of March, we saw some business coming back. For the first time we saw the pre-COVID level getting crossed. But still, those are inflationary-led growth and not quantitative growth. So we will yet hope to see some more quantum growth coming in, which should come in the next year is what we propose, expect and hope.
Calendar year, next financial year?
Yeah, the coming financial year.
Okay. Now the urban retailers are telling us that it's becoming better for us because look, Mumbai had a COVID issue, major cities had a major COVID issue and demand was not there. Rural India never had that COVID lockdown issue, at least in the second wave and the third wave, which means the demand never suffered. So urban retailer is saying, for me, demand has come back. The rural retailer is saying the demand never suffered. So what are you talking about comeback? Is there truth in it?
So there is always, there was not a complete lockdown for a longer period as it was in urban retail because of malls and other things. So I think, overall business was down, and which we have reported in the last 2, 3, 4 quarters. And you have seen the business was not normal because the consumption was not normal. Normal lifestyle was not normal. People were not going to colleges, schools, no holidays, no outings. So I think there was a lot of lifestyle issue, which was there, which is now coming back, is what I said. And this is what is happening. People have started moving out. People have started going to college and schools. So people have started their normal life. So that is where people have started celebrating. People celebrated Holi for the first time in the last 2 years. So people are now coming back to normalcy, and that is how consumption will also come back.
One side is...
And smaller town largely depend upon festivals, these occasions, these events for which they consume. They don't have so much of extra income so that they can consume anytime and every time at any go.
तो ललित जी, दिवाली तो बहुत दूर है अभी. So next बड़ा festival तो बहुत दूर है अभी. So demand will come back.
We have got Eid in the coming month, which is once again going to get celebrated after 2 years. So once again, this whole month of April, which is the Ramjan month, is going to be very good. And then the weddings. But once again, the weddings in the nature in which the weddings were happening has not happened once again. So those are also a big crowd driver. Those are also an aspirational driver. People want to look good when they want to attend weddings. They're not dula dulans only, but they are people who attend weddings. So that's the culture of India, and that's what rural is or semi-urban is all about.
Good morning. So just taking forward from that, the rural versus urban, at a time when, there is also Mengai, which is there. We've all seen what has happened with cotton prices and all of that, other commodities, other goods as well. Mr. Agarwal, how is that being managed? And how is that impacting demand?
I think we have not witnessed such kind of price rise or hike in the prices of raw material or commodity prices of our product, which is a kind of apparel. So this is the first time that we have seen such a huge price rise. And overall, we have also done almost a 15 to 17% price rise in the last 2 years or 1.5 years. So there is an inflationary pressure. People are experiencing that problem. It is getting hurt to the people. Once again, there is still a discussion on the GST prices, because GST rates are 5% below 1,000 rupees. Government is talking once again, they have deferred it, but they will once again bring it back to 12%, which means another inflation on top of it. So all these things are definitely going to eat away customers' aspiration. It will definitely eat away some of the demand as well, and there will be some losses which will happen. That is how I said that quantity demand has not come back. So it is the quantitative demand which is supposed to come back will only come back when customer is able to earn that extra money which they are spending right now.
What you're saying, could another way of reading it would be that you have not undertaken price hikes and you don't plan to for some time, just because of the impact will have on demand and discretionary income that hasn't gone up.
We have already taken a price hike. We can't pass it on to, we have to pass it on to our consumer. We can't keep it to ourselves, because such a huge price rise is for the first time that we're experiencing. And we don't have those kind of margins to keep those. So we have completely passed on those price hike, and we expect the demand to come back, but not the quantitative demand is what I'm saying.
Okay. What about your store economics currently? By when do you start matching up to the current stores? What is also the plan when it comes to new store openings, just given the kind of environment that we are in?
I think we have we opened stores in this financial year as well, and we opened almost like 7 to 8 stores in this particular quarter. So we have our plans in place. We are going ahead with our plans. They will be and these stores are not for short term; these are for long term. So we are looking at a very good India or Bharat in the long term, and that is what we are. So we need to be the most aspirational value retailer of Bharat, and that is what we believe is a long term story. So we'll continue with our operations. The stores are doing good now. We are able to see normal economics coming back to the store, which is in terms of the sales per square feet, the cost incurred per square feet, and the EBITDA per square feet. So we will have our back to normal number in the coming year is what we expect, and we will open another 50 to 60 stores also in the next year. So that's how we are planning, which is almost equal to 16 to 17% of our square feet addition.
Right. In fact, Mr. Agarwal, just stay with us. There are a lot of market experts also we've been chatting with of late, and they're only validating the optimism that you are currently talking about. Let's just hear it out from Pankaj Jaju, founder and CEO at Meta Capital Advisors. And he said that he believes stories like VMart and DMart are great businesses run by great managements, and he has conviction on the stocks as well.
As businesses, these are fantastic businesses run by great managements. Both companies have understood what it takes to serve the bottom of the pyramid and the strata of society which is price conscious. I'm not sure whether this is a trade-off between price and time, because the person who's going into a VMart was earlier buying in the village heart. He didn't have the opportunity to walk into a store and get selection. And this is somebody who buys a few shirts, possibly washes it 50 times, needs the apparel to be looking good even after those many washes. So it's a different kind of customer, and similarly with DMart. And that segment is going to continue to grow. We just scratched the surface. In terms of consistent compounders and valuation, I don't want to make a comment, but entry price is extremely important. Of course, time and compounding helps if you were to get in expensive, but if you can get into something at a better value, that's much more better for you.
Right. Mr. Agarwal, there you go, market experts as well validating the VMart story. But just wanted to understand, while in the near term, things are looking, up and bright. Say if I were to dig out the next 5-year strategy, where is it that we will see VMart in the next 5 years as opposed to where it is right now?
I think we've got a big big plan to penetrate into the Bharat. We are nearest to the district and the villages, so we would now move to the block levels and tehsil and become denser in the bigger cities and bigger towns wherever there is a higher amount of population. So what we have we plan to at least do 3 times of what we are doing in the next 5 years. And that's what we should plan. And that's what we believe is still, once again, scratching the surface, because Bharat is too deep. We are talking of, right now at $2,000 per capita income, which is supposed to go up. And whenever it reaches or goes above 2,700 or 2,600, there is going to be a storm or tsunami of consumption which is going to come in. And most of it is going to become aspirational consumption. People would want to look good. People would want to flaunt. People would want to be on those social media with those good looking faces. So I think, that's what India is. And then the youth of India, the young of India, that is the huge population that we have is definitely going to come up and consume more. So as a retailer, a value retailer like us, we understand the customer who stays in that territory. We understand their requirement. We understand their taste. We need to just provide ourselves being there. We need to just keep understanding them more digitally, more scientifically, and have the supply chain in order, so that we are able to give them those requirements which they have, and they would want to look like any international girl or boy that they are able to see in TV or a social media.
To understand, Mr. Agarwal, where does e-commerce role come in here? Because as I understand, you've now launched on Amazon as well as Myntra. So wanted to understand, in terms of a near-term visibility, how much of your sales percentage would actually up because of you now being on other e-commerce platforms?
So we are almost nearing like 1.5 to 2% of our digital sales, and that's how we term ourselves. So we are still not a great proposition for online because our ASPs, our average selling price, is very low. We operated around 350 rupees on our average selling price, which at e-commerce partner, it is not so good. We would try to change a little model. We have integrated all our stores from where the deliveries to the nearest customer happens. So that is how we are trying to make a model so that we are able to serve those customers digitally at a very, very low prices. So right now we are at 2%. We would definitely target ourselves to go between 5 to 10%. That's how we want to. We've just launched on Myntra in the last month and Amazon 3-4 months back. So we are still yet to have a good runway there. So we will definitely have those also. And we have a great plan on our .com business as well, because .com we understand and Omni we understand is going to be there, and we need to be a very strong retailer doing as an Omni retailer, not as just an offline retailer.
Good to hear that, Mr. Agarwal, and good luck with that. I'm sure we'll chat again soon.